Folks, welcome to NewsOne Now right here on TV1. In November, 2 Republicans were elected to Congress. They made history in doing so. One of them, the first elected from Texas in history, he is Will Hurd, and he joins us right here on NewsOne Now on TV1. Will, how you doing?
Doing great.
Glad that you're here.
Thanks for having me.
Interesting background, former CIA officer. I'm sure you probably will say after being in Congress not long that maybe the CIA was a little bit more simple than Congress.
Yeah, when I was in the CIA, I knew who my enemies were. So, you know, here I've joked, you know, if I can navigate the back alleys of Pakistan, I can figure out how to get under the tunnels of the Capitol. But it's been a good experience so far.
One of the things that I think is important when we talk about where the GOP stands, and I'm curious to know from you, and that is, how do you believe the party can effectively reach out to African Americans who historically, whether you talk about the national level, even the local level, do not vote for Republican candidates?
Right. Look, our principles of the Republican Party are timeless, but we got to articulate them in a way that resonates with the various communities we need to grow in. And you know, I get asked a lot of questions. It's like, you know, Will, how'd the black dude get elected to a Hispanic district, right? And I did it by talking to people. You know, folks care about a couple of things. They want food on the table, they want a roof over their head, and they want the people around them to be healthy and happy. And we need to be talking about how our policies impact those three things.
Well, that's one of the things that I've always said to Republicans, like, look, don't come talking to black folks with the party of Lincoln. And I said, look, they want to know what's happening today. How do you speak to the issue of 1.9 million black-owned businesses? What about education? What about, again, empowerment zones? What about dealing with education as well? I mean, those are bread and butter issues, but I think also the GOP gets caught up in, if you will, some of the sideshow issues back and forth with comments made by certain people, and that frankly creates a wedge between black folks and the GOP.
No, look, you're exactly right. Tax code impacts every minority business owner, right? Education, I think education is a national security issue, right? We have income inequality because we have education inequality, right? And that's an issue that resonates with everybody, and we need to be talking about these things. And this is important for the entire country, and we need to be talking about the issues that affect everyday Americans, whether it's in the black community, Hispanic community, any other community, and we need to do it in a tone that makes sense, right? And I think that's sometimes we say things in a way that are unhelpful.
You decided not to join the Congressional Black Caucus. Could you have that impact being inside of the caucus, working with those members, as opposed to not being a member? Because Mia Love, also a fellow Republican who was elected, has decided to join the caucus.
You know, everybody that I've met in the Congressional Black Caucus has been incredibly open and warm to me, and I'm looking forward to working with them on individual projects however we can. You know, I have the opportunity, I'm a chairman of a subcommittee on information technology. The ranking member is a member of the CBC as well. So I think it's an opportunity for me to work with them on individual projects that make sense for my office and my district and the CBC.
I was talking to a former member of Congress, and one of the things they said is that they would not want to serve today because, frankly, there's too much acrimony, there's too much ideology and partisanship. Where do you see, on what particular issue do you think Democrats and Republicans can actually stop the back and forth and stop the nonsense and actually get something done?
I think cybersecurity is one of those issues, right? The President's comments over the last few weeks leading up in the State of the Union address are talking about things that the Republican Party and the Congress had tried to pass last session. So I think this is an area, and cybersecurity, you know, everybody's been, you know, touched by some kind of data breach. Our digital adversaries are getting even more sophisticated. I mean, I think this is an area we can talk and talk across party lines, because I got elected and many of my fellow freshmen got elected because people are sick and tired of the way things operate up here in Washington, D.C. They want us to actually see and get things done, right? And that's what I plan on doing, and I plan on working with my colleagues in the Republican Party. I'm looking forward to working across the aisle and working with the President on those issues that we can get done for the American people.
We are seeing right now the congressional hearings on the Senate side for Loretta Lynch, if confirmed, be the first African-American woman Attorney General. It was interesting to me that here you are, confirmation hearings of Lynch, and yesterday from the Republican side, nearly everything was about Eric Holder. And I'm going, if I'm asking questions, I'm not worried about the person who's already Attorney General. I probably want to get a sense of who this particular person is.
I would agree. I haven't had the chance to watch some of the hearings, and I've been spending a lot of time on border security. We just got done with the trip, but you're right. We should be looking in the windshield, not the rearview mirror. That's how I plan to operate when I'm up here in Washington D.C., and that's what people back home in my district want to see. You know, I represent 29 counties, 820 miles of the border. It's a big district, and they want to see us moving forward, talking about the future, not talking about the past.
Yesterday, I talked to Wade Henderson at the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights. He and Mark Morial are going to be meeting with Congressman Steve Scalise about his speech years ago before a white supremacist group, David Duke's group. Is that one of those instances, again, where from a Republican standpoint, that they have it's one of those things where when you're reaching out to groups like that, speaking of groups like that, for African Americans, for Hispanics as well, it causes a serious red flag because you're saying, wait a minute, that's not necessarily what represents America. So of that particular meeting, what would you say to Congressman Scalise that he should do in talking to them and also moving forward?
Well, look, I think Cedric from the congressman, from his fellow congressman,
Congressman Cedric Richmond from New Orleans.
Cedric Richmond, you know, said it. He knows them. They've known each other for a long time. And I think Steve Scalise has agreed that going to that meeting was a mistake, and it's a reprehensible group, and he needs to go and show people that he made this mistake, and he knows better.
One thing that you want our audience, African American, to know about Will Hurd?
That's, you know, I'm going to work hard. You know, this is, you know, I've had the honor of serving my country for 9 years as an undercover officer in the CIA. I was in some dangerous places, 2 years India, 2 years Pakistan, 2 years in New York, a year and a half in Afghanistan where I managed all of our undercover operations. I did it because I love my country, and I look at this as an opportunity to serve my country in a different way. And, you know, I know you're an Aggie, I'm an Aggie, and we have the Aggie Code of Honor. We don't lie, cheat, or steal, and tolerate those who do. And I'm going to bring those principles up here to Washington, D.C.
All right, cool. What class is that?
99.
Okay, all right, see, you came after me. I'm class 91. All right, giggle.
Thank you.
All right, Congress, I certainly appreciate it. Thanks so much.